Paul. I'm 43 years old and 11 and a half months. I live in a small village in the northeast of England, and I've decided to make some videos about what I get up to. I suspect it's only going to be of interest to middle-aged men type, but you know, we'll see. A little bit about me. I'm married. I've got a young son called Oscar. He's 11, and I run a cake business with my wife, Beverly. It's called Bake That and Party. We do weddings, birthdays, stuff. I do the baking, and my wife Beverly does the making stuff look pretty part, the easy bits, as I like to call it. The rest of my time is given over to my other main hobby, which is renovating an old fishing boat that I bought 4 years ago. Progress is quite slow on my fishing boat for a couple of reasons. Mostly, well, one of them's financial, fucking thing's a money pit. The other is I have ME. I know I look fantastically healthy and vigorous and alert, but I was diagnosed with ME about 10 years ago, and some people confuse it with chronic fatigue syndrome. It's not really chronic fatigue syndrome. I got glandular fever at university 25 years ago, and that kind of came and went in a couple of weeks, and it lay dormant for about 10-15 years, and then I started getting sick. It wasn't just the fatigue, I couldn't fucking neighbourhood wardens, I couldn't literally move, and spent some time in hospital. I spent a year in a wheelchair. I was diagnosed eventually. Anyway, so fast forward 9 years later, and I'm living with the condition now. It means I've got about 4, sometimes 5 useful hours in the day when I can do stuff. The rest of the time, I'm either asleep or resting. I play lots of video games and stuff in the house. But the hours I am active, I like to use them. I like to go to bed every night thinking I've achieved something useful with my energy. So that kind of explains why it's taken me 4 years to get to the stage I am on my boat project. I've sort of stripped it all back, and I've stripped the engine down, and I'm about 50% into rebuilding it, which is good. I mean, I'm pleased with my progress. I think a normal person would have probably been able to strip it and rebuild it in a month, or even a weekend if they were good at it. But you know, I can only work on the boat for about an hour at a time before I become fatigued, and I get like a mental fog, and I can't think straight. But it's been a useful 4 years. I've taught myself a lot of DIY skills over the last 4 years, and I've started doing other woodworking projects. I'm trying a bit of welding, but I'm a bit shit at it, but I'm trying. So yeah, these videos will be primarily about boat building, cake baking, and I'm going to talk about how I manage my ME, how I pace myself, little strategies that I've developed over the years to sort of get the maximum out of my day. When I was diagnosed with ME, I was in academia. I'd been to university, got my MA, my degree in my MA, and then I was doing a PhD, and I was also doing some teacher training, doing a PGCE, secondary school teaching. At the time I was diagnosed, but obviously once the ME hit, I had to give everything up. I spent a year in a wheelchair, spent another year lying on a sofa, feeling sorry for myself. And in the 8 years since, I've tried to come to terms with the fact that my life's different now, and make the best of what I've got. So that's me, and hopefully this all makes sense. It's the third time I've recorded it. The first time I didn't have the lens cap off. The second time it was really good, but then when I was editing it, I deleted it, which is awesome. Doesn't bode well. My degree, funnily enough, is in photography, video and digital imaging, but my skills are about 25 years out of date, so it's this is all new to me. So I'm getting used to editing again and using the equipment, so I keep fucking up, but hopefully I'm going to try and get a video out every week, and we'll see how it goes. But yeah, that's me. So that's it.
At 17, I started to starve myself. I thought that love was a kind of emptiness. At least I understood then the hunger I felt, and I didn't have to call it loneliness. We all have a hunger.
You cannot be serious!
Okay, so this is the boat. Give you a brief tour. I know that's what you're here for. Boat is called Gesidas. Let me just turn around. And she is a 1907 ex-Admiralty motor launch, pinnace. The top, the aluminium top, was put on by a previous owner, but everything below that is original boat underneath the junk. As you can see, I'm working on the engine. Have been for several years. It's a 6-cylinder diesel Ford. Some people call them Lehmans, but this one is sort of a mishmash between a Thames Trader truck engine and a Fordson Super tractor engine. think the top, this bit's truck, and the head, which is under that pile of crap, is tractor, or the other way around. Doesn't matter. Anyway, as you can see, it's been completely stripped down and cleaned and everything, and I've just finished replacing the sleeves and the pistons, so they're all in nice, and I've had the crankshaft out, and I've changed all the bearings and polished up the crankshaft. Now, the way I say it, it sounds like it only took me 5 minutes, but it actually took me 1.5 years to get that far, because, as I said before, because of my ME, I can only work for an hour at a time on really light work, and then I have to rest, so it takes a while. But I'm pleased with the progress I've made. I know what you're thinking, Fedora. My philosophy is nobody between the ages of 5 years old and 40 years old should ever wear a fedora. But because I'm old, I get away with that. Right, I've come outside to make a little video because I'm trying to get used to talking to the camera. It's incredibly difficult to sort of be outdoors and conspicuously talking to a camera. I'm not used to it at all. So I've just come up here to take a few shots of the coastline near to where my boat is moored, which is just over there, Seaham Harbour. Part of England I live in is used to be heavily industrialised. There was, particularly East Durham was built on the coal mines, so coastline was an important part of that, where they used to ship the coal out. And this heritage coastline here is used to be a bit of a, what's the right word, shithole for a long time. The pits closed in the early 90s, and it took them a good long time to clean it up, but it's beautiful now. There's still a tiny bit of industry left, but nothing like used to be. There would be coal mines all over the shop, but it's they're all gone now. Whatever. But yeah, this is a beautiful part of the world. Thanks for watching, and next week I'll go into a bit more detail about my current projects on the boat, a bit of fiberglassing, I think, and also rebuilding the engine. And I'll talk a bit more about the shop which I'm currently in, our cake shop, which I also built. Well, yeah, not the building, but the fitted it out. So yeah, that's it, and see you next time.